Haldane.
Yeah, we're rolling right along our coverage of Washington Mardi Gras 2023. Not done just yet. We are shifting gears here. Hey, one of the things we've been talking about throughout this coverage has been how it's just kind of all over the place. We can go from one topic to the next. It's a completely different direction, and that's what we're doing right now. If you're watching on Facebook Live, you will notice once again that I'm still off camera because we're welcoming in it's going to be a cavalcade of guests until the ball starts, and then I'm just going to it's going to be poor me because I'm going to be by myself down here. Absolutely. All right. We welcome back Julie Stokes, and we also welcome Lisa McKenzie. How's it going?
Excellent. What a great week.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, you can't have more fun than this.
Exactly.
It's the best.
Exactly.
Everybody talks about things I generally care about. Can't be more fun.
Well, what are we talking about now? Because I know we're completely flipping the script, and y'all got you're the founders of a nonprofit that I think it deserves a little bit of attention. So take it away.
Thank you so much. So we recently came together and talked about just the gap in services and help for survivors and for patients out there in Louisiana. We've got this broad network of all these nonprofits that want to help people and all these patients and survivors that need services. And we're going to bring them together in one private social network, which we've already obtained. And we have our consultants that we're partners with building it out. But it's really, I think, going to bridge the gap to tie the cancer community in Louisiana together. And we're calling it Survivors Cancer Action Network, or SCAN. And, one of the key providers of services and my partner, we're becoming besties.
It's like peanut butter and chocolate collided.
It is. And so, Lisa, tell them about some of the things that you're putting into this group.
Yeah. For 10 years, I have worked with survivors on the issues that cancer survivors face after diagnosis.
Okay.
And when they're in treatment and being seen by physicians and nurses, they have a protocol they follow. But a lot of times, once they're released from care, that is when a lot of that really difficult journey starts, because they're no longer being looked at every day. And so they have financial, relationship, legal, business, body, physique. And so I have built a very large network of women survivors of every type of cancer, within New Orleans and St. Tammany, where we help them discover their strength after a diagnosis, and through an amazing sisterhood of support. But we're expanding that statewide to men and women, so they have access to getting better and finding the tools they need.
So the tools they need are going to be varied, very varied,
Yes.
because you're talking about different types of cancer, which would have different types of effects.
Yes.
You're talking about male versus female, not versus, but male or female.
Yeah.
You're talking about different stages of life, different stages of relationships, different stages of acceptance. And then on top of that, there's the physical aspect of this as well, depending on what type of cancer someone comes down with. That's a lot.
Right, like if you're a colorectal cancer survivor, you have completely different needs than somebody who has breast cancer.
Right.
And many times they say they don't know where to turn to, and we're going to bring it all to you. We're going to help you find the resources you need with all the experts in our state who are really doing incredible things.
There's like an endless sea of things that people who are going through a cancer battle need, whether you're male, female, which part of your body's involved in this fight. I mean, there's so many people in our state that are working minimum wage, 3 jobs, kids. How do you go do chemo? How do you take a day? I mean, sometimes it's not a whole day, but oftentimes it's the greater part of a day. And then a day later, 2 days later,
To
you
recoup.
feel terrible.
Right.
And so, there's people that say, I can't do my chemo this week because I can't afford not to work this week. And so we're tying people together with all the nonprofits that are doing the work in these areas. Like, there's nonprofits out there that will pay you what you make an hour to go get your chemo to offset that. There's organizations that'll help getting you transportation to your treatments. It's endless. I mean, you have cool cap providers so that people, when they're going through chemo, can keep their hair. I mean, it's such a hard thing for a woman and a man too, to go through. But there's an endless sea of these things. And when I went through my own battle, I was really struck by a group that was ready to give me $2,500 to help me offset the cost of what I was going through. And I said, well, I want you to give that to somebody more needy. And they were like, well, we've got all this money and we don't know, we don't have enough people to give it to. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, we need to somehow, there's all these people all around our state, rural areas, poor families that need this help. I want to connect that. I don't want to supplant anybody. I want to connect people.
So how do you pick a direction and go?
So,
I mean, because you don't want to disparage any type of cancer that's out there, but since the needs are so varied, you also want to avoid paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
You got to say, this is where we're going today. How?
So what my plan is, and we talk about this all the time because it's grown into something very large. So the first thing we're doing is making sure that Lisa's Sisterhood of Survivors is in the system, that all the classes and group talk that they're doing as a group are going through the SCAN network. And then we're going to start layering in other survivor groups and other nonprofits that provide help. And then we're going to layer in non-clinical navigation to connect people to those services. And we're going to start connecting at hospitals and doctors, do a podcast so that people can get a glimpse of what a doctor's like. Like, when you find out you have cancer, you might find out from your OBGYN or your urologist, whatever. You find this out and you're like, I don't know any of these, people that do chemo, these oncologists. So we're hoping that within a year or two, I mean, it's going to take a hot minute, no doubt, but that we're going to be able to, these doctors have a page and there'll be a 5-minute talk with them so you can get to know the doctors. I just think, and all the services, that people, when you tell the system what kind of cancer you have and what, if you're in treatment or if you're out of treatment and what your needs are, it will route you to the right place so that you can find your needs to be met.
Right.
This is a logistics organization more than anything.
It totally is.
I mean, and y'all need to talk to my guest from the last segment from Louisiana Tech Park. This is an app looking for a place to happen.
Wonderful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me who that was.
Well, absolutely. We'll connect y'all later on. So walk me through what y'all have gotten to get where you are today.
Well, I concentrate on the survivor side of issues where the women who have gone through our program get emotional healing. And one of the ways they heal is by being around other survivors. They get a lot of information, support, inspiration, and, information about where they can get treatment or where they can find any kind of relief after diagnosis. So what I love to do through this network is that we are going, like Julie said, to bring all this, many survivors together in a community, but through subsets of their type of cancer. So if you have neuroendocrine society or neuroendocrine cancer, right now you might have to Google where you would find support, but little people know that we have the top neuroendocrine doctors in the state of Louisiana who are service the whole state, the whole country.
Right.
So we can bring that information to those patients to help them find support.
What I love about what Lisa does is that it's around, mental health, but just wholeness coming out of this journey. She's got programs where you really explore what this scar or this cancer means to you, and you layer on top of it all of the things that help bring it to life, like what it means to you and how it heals you and how it propels you to do the next thing in your life. Because it's not just life-changing in your health. It's life-changing on your trajectory. I mean, look at me. I was running for state treasurer, found out I had cancer, went through this very public cancer battle, and I always say you make your mess your ministry, and that's been the point of the journey for me for 5 years now, is to try to bring wholeness and help to everybody else that's going through this, who were so wonderful to me. The community was just so beautiful. It's just beautiful to be a part of. It stinks to get cancer. But I'm going to tell you, the side benefit, it sounds crazy, but there are just all these communities of help, and it's beautiful. And not everybody's got access. We want to connect them.
I'm going to say something which is a brave thing to say, but I've heard this more than once from our participants. They have said, and I know this is going to sound very radical, but they said, I'm glad I got cancer so I could go through your program. That is a crazy thing to say, but you learn so much. You know what I mean? You never know how much you can grow until you're put into certain.
It sounds weird to say it out loud, but anybody who's followed the path gets it. There's truth in that. There's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about two more things before we get y'all out of here and let you go over to the ball. So number one, buy-in. How's the buy-in been? Those who are surrounding in the community looking to help y'all out, what's that been like?
It's been so exciting. I mean, everybody's ready to go, and the primary obstacle has been my time. I mean, I'm not going to lie, and Lisa's time, because I have a lot of jobs, and she's so busy. I mean, we're both entrepreneurial in that kind of social entrepreneurship, you
Yeah.
know, and so it's getting our time because we've got a line of people ready to start getting into the system and getting it built. So we need all the help we can get, and a tech firm would maybe be very helpful.
Well, and that brings me around to the next point is, you know, I literally sitting right in that chair in the last segment with Stephen Loy from Nexus, Louisiana. It's kind of an example of what we're doing up here. So I'm asking every guest on here, what do you plan to get out of Washington Mardi Gras? Or at this phase, what have you gotten out of Washington Mardi Gras?
So just now I went to the Ochsner area, you know, their booth, I don't know what you call it,
Hospitality suite, yeah.
That's what I was looking for, you know, and I connected with Dr. Hart there, who's the medical director. And they're excited about it because of Ochsner's Healthy State Initiative. You know, I connected with other doctors, my friend Dr. John Stewart, who's at LCMC and LSU, and connect about it. Everybody's really excited about it. We connected with Senator Cassidy and one of his staff people, Brian McNabb, who's also a survivor.
Brian, yeah.
I connected with Walter Leger, who is a cancer survivor, because like we got a whole lot of the women part going on,
Right.
but I need some strong male voices, and these are some people that I think will be dynamic, strong man voices to help the guys, and you know, because it's not just the girls, and the guys go through all of this too, and it's not easy.
Yeah, and forming an amazing board of directors who have specialties in the various areas, such as science and research. I mean, there's some amazing things happening within our own state on the research front that most people don't even know about, that are life-changing.
I connected with Dr. Ramos, who's head of the LCRC, and him and Dr. Augusto Ochoa said, we want to put all the clinical trials on there so that people can go on there and see all the clinical trials and, you know, be in a situation where you might be up in Monroe in the Delta, somewhere where it's pretty rural, and you're reading about things and you're like, wait, this sounds like it could be applicable to me, but it's, you know, in New Orleans or wherever, and I want to see what I can do to get to it. We're going to try to help people connect.
And look, while you're here, the Franciscan missionaries are here as well with the Our Lady Hospital. Yeah,
Yep.
Our Lady of the Lake, Our Lady of Lourdes, and they got a couple of other ones around the state. So it's all the right people that y'all need to talk to.
Yes.
Look, I can't thank y'all enough for the time. I can't thank y'all enough for the mission, or for the ministry, as you put it. It is fantastic stuff. That being said, I gotta let y'all go. I know y'all got places to be.
Look,
Well,
I love what you're
Francis,
doing here.
Yes.
This is great.
Thank
It's been
you.
so much fun being part
And
of it.
let's revisit a year from now, and we could tell you what progress we made.
Absolutely, absolutely. Julie Stokes, Lisa McKenzie, thank y'all so much for the
Thank
time.
you so
Thank you.
much.
Bye,
All right,
everybody.
bye.